this thing goes the same as it did the last time, we're gonna be here in 3 months or whatever, and it won't have been done, and apportionment is gonna be coming down the road. Or else we're gonna maybe do it again, I don't know, but what I was gonna say is, I think that what you should do, if you're gonna go to apportionment, you're afraid that people on this panel are somehow or other gonna gerrymander, that you would go to a appointed commission, probably citizens at large, probably 1 or 2 from each ward, and then let them work on an apportionment map for you and bring it back to council. And I just wanted to say that if you decide to do something like that, I'd be happy to serve. And I'm sure you can find good people in all the wards that would be happy to serve on the Citizens at Large Commission to do that work. As far as gerrymandering goes, I promise you, if I'm on this commission, I will not care how many Democrats or Republicans are in each ward. It won't make a bit of difference.
Especially if you do it the way Sara said with population, not voting, not your party affiliation.
So that's what gerrymandering is.
Yeah, it shouldn't be by person. And by the way,
Please someone
like,
say what is
many Democrats
gerrymandering?
in town, so I don't know what the
Yeah, I
concern
know,
is.
you know what, you're outnumbered, you are.
Yeah, like, why is that even a concern?
Yeah, so, one thing Tammy just brought to me, I mean, whatever it is we do tonight here, between now and next month, what if we send out a survey?
How much would that cost?
Well, we could do the every door direct. The problem with that is, it doesn't always get to every door. What is that?
Stay within the borough.
Well, no, we can pick. When you do every door
You can
direct,
just do the borough.
you can pick.
You're still gonna get more attention.
We can take those out.
Would it be volunteers knocking on the doors and taking,
Yeah, that's
block by block?
a lot of knocking.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out like how you're expecting to get, responses from people.
Well,
Because usually like a survey will come, and it would be great if everyone responded. It's usually the response is minimal. And so,
You do QR code on the, that's what, a lot of people doing their comp plan now. Municipalities are sending out their surveys and they ask to send little QR code and it takes you to survey.
I mean, it's one way, sure.
Well, and
it's
it's,
one way.
that cuts out all the people who use electronics pretty quickly, and if it's one question, will literally take a second to answer. And then, now, the hard part, I don't even wanna go down this path, the wording on that question will be for you all to come up with and agree on. But that question could go out and then you could eliminate, the electronic users pretty quickly, you know, and then, but, yeah, that, you're not gonna get 100% response.
what does every door direct cost? Like, was it like $300?
Yeah, it's like 264,
$264?
some change.
So the same cost to advertise.
So well, like you would send it and then you'd give them a website to go to?
Well, I wonder.
Sarah, people don't do websites.
I know, I'm just
Yeah,
asking
that's
what
what-
he's thinking, I'm
Well,
just trying to understand what
I'm thinking on the go is what I'm doing. I don't know, it just was, I know Tayne said about a public meeting, but I'm thinking between now, the holidays and everything, I don't think it's a good time to try and have a public meeting, but
maybe
if
we
we,
should just table this and or
if
come
we
back.
could get something out, get it out, and you know what, it don't have to be the final say, but at least gives us an idea. I don't know. I don't, honestly, this isn't a good sample. It's not a sample of the town. You're good people, but it's not a good sample.
That's
I
what
didn't mean it the wrong way. You're good people, but it's not a good sample.
Because everybody
Also
in town
acknowledge
thought
that
it was
these
done,
were a lot of
everything was
folks that
done.
went and knocked
Exactly.
on doors and asked people, so.
And,
I was shocked.
and I went to some of them same people, and their concern was the voting, where they vote.
Yeah, and other people had other concerns.
Right, so there's always concern. So,
Can I just say, I appreciate that consideration of everyone deciding, or hopefully deciding to bring it out to the, you know, as a representative democracy. I appreciate being able to be a part of that and feel like I'm gonna be able to have a say, and I appreciate that offer and even the consideration. So I hope that we can find something like this. I really, it's music to my ears, so thank you.
Well,
I mean, I'd love to see it as a referendum question on a ballot, but we don't have time to do that.
We can't do that legally.
we're not
Yeah.
Alfred.
It's only certain topics can be on ballot, and unfortunately, this isn't one of them, so we can talk about that.
We're not authorized to put any topics on the ballot, period.
Right.
But
Unless
Joe,
the
what you
state
came up with
directs
is
you to do
good.
that,
You
yes.
should do that.
Right.
Tammy came up with
Well,
it.
do it. I think you should do that because
She-
people don't
she
do computers,
came
but what
So
you
what
just
would be
did
the,
would be
what would
good.
be the, it would be a website that people would go to?
I don't even know.
Survey
I
monkey.
don't even know, but
Survey
what I know is the
Survey.
survey, this type of survey was done back, Joe, I think elaborated on it last meeting. It was sent out, old fashioned pen and paper before we had all this modern technology. And while not everyone responded, there was a good amount of responses that came in, for it, not for it. And at that time, there was more people for abolishing the wards than there was to not abolish the wards.
Right.
But that was back in like 2008.
I think it was
Something like that.
Do you remember approximately how many responses you got?
I have it on a spreadsheet and I can share
I was
that.
just curious, like, how many.
Obviously, it wasn't the whole town, and you're never gonna get
My
the whole
only other
town.
question is, would you be able to qualify the respondents to ensure that they live?
We require them to put in an address.
It required an address,
Are you an
so we
owner or
would
are
be
you a
able,
Right.
now whether they put they made up an address, my mother looked at this address and this is what I want.
Well,
And that's what's gonna happen, people are gonna make up stuff. Do you
Yeah.
have that, I mean, do you have that? Cause I don't remember that, I was on council then,
Well,
I
it was-
don't remember that.
It was just little slips of paper that came back into the borough, for ward abolishment, not for ward abolishment, and you had to sign it. Yeah, I actually found it when this
You
whole
have
thing.
it. I'd like to see it too. I'm
I'd
not
like to
sure.
see it.
When this whole thing started, and this whole discussion started
Yeah,
months, it feels like a year now.
it was just half sheets sent out.
It was just, like a little slip of paper that got sent, whether it got sent to your door, whether it got sent with your bill. I don't know how it got sent, and nor did it. If that
Oh,
name
yeah.
sounds familiar
No, no.
to any of you. And at that time, I couldn't find anything that a tally was made or whatever, so I took those responses that are in the folder that I found, and I'm like, this was who was in favor, this was who was not in favor, and Joe touched on some of that last
This
month, I
month,
believe.
I think it was.
So, I mean, it was done, how it came about being done, cause I don't see anything in meeting minutes that it even
2 months ago.
was to be done, or anything like that. I went back to meeting minutes from 2006, I believe. And, that's where Mel's name came up, that, we talked about it, your
We
name
talked
was
about
on
it
there.
in one
Things of
period
that.
and it was gone.
Yeah, and then, Steve Hobbs, he was asked to find out how much it would cost to petition the court.
Yep.
Like, all these names started coming up, so then, that led to Eric saying, that's how you came about it, how
We
you
just
came
need the
about
people.
it, things like
People
that,
need to
so, it was done.
Well, the survey didn't say that then.
Right,
Yeah.
I'd like
But
to
a lot
see
of
that,
those
I'd like to
people-
really see it.
A lot of those people are
Or just see
Now,
it.
none of those,
Yeah.
some of those people don't live in the town
and don't live
anymore.
here anymore.
So,
Well, just do it. I think what you're gonna do is do it, seriously.
I mean, I don't know, if you wanna do the true census,
You think it's a good idea?
the majority, as everyone keeps referring to, the majority, and I
Let's
think
do it.
one of our public patrons said it best, this is not the majority of the town. So I think to get a true synopsis of what you wanna think the majority of the town thinks, I think something like that needs to be instrumented. How, who, what it says, whatever, and I think then you can put this to bed. And will you accept if the majority wants to abolish the awards? Will you accept that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, to work together,
Right, these pain points over these last 6 months or whatever has been the process. So if people feel assured that everyone has a chance to weigh in, that's great.
and I definitely don't have a vote in the say, but I think it will give you a better idea of what, and those 100 people that came to John Wright, is that the majority of the town? That's not a true representation either, so I don't know what it's gonna take to
Sure.
get everyone's response.
Well, I think that's a great idea, but I also think it has to be tamper-proof.
Yeah,
I
obviously
think
it's
there
a
has to be
logistics
something-
thing, how it needs to work.
I think there has to be something put in place where Sara, you, Joe, nobody on council can tamper with it, that there has to be something that comes back that it's legitimate and because that's the only way it's gonna happen, because if people can get in there and tamper with it, it's gonna happen. And because this is a heated discussion, so I think it needs to be, something needs to be put in place that comes, and maybe to a third-party counter or something, but I don't think any of you guys should be counting any votes.
I don't care
Can I
about
just,
that.
Tammy, is that, I have a couple people on my street.
It's a good
that
idea, Joe.
Don't think that they can have a say because they're tenants, they're not renters. Can it be said in that survey that it's for
I
tenants as
don't know,
well?
cause I could not
Voters.
find,
It's
I
for
could not
voters.
find.
There's like more than half.
I know, but.
Hang on, guys, hang on.
Yeah.
I could not find a cover letter.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
couldn't even find a discussion at Borough Council how it even got implemented.
Yeah,
So,
I remember
like, the
that.
surveys went out in 2008, 2009, they were dated.
I have to see
And I
it.
see no meeting minutes that, I think Sharon was council president at the time.
Yeah.
I saw nothing instrumented in those meeting minutes that said, yes, let's send this survey out. So I'm not even sure how it got
That's way too far back for me to remember.
huh?
That's way too far back for me to remember.
I don't know.
Just an idea for sending it, I think we had a little bit, well, maybe, I was gonna say that probably won't work. So Wrightsville Borough Water Municipal Authority, do we serve any part of Pelham Township?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good thought.
I tried.
So, go ahead.
Just a couple realities here.
Mhm.
So, it all sounds really good,
Here we go.
but you're gonna get,
Oh, you know what? I lost the leash.
Sorry, text.
They hung up somehow. Go ahead, Eric, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I didn't touch you.
You're back.
I did gerrymander the phone.
so, we've done several surveys.
Fred, don't leave, I need you.
I have to go.
We've
I
done,
do, my wife, I can't leave my wife
All
alone
right,
for a long period of
all
time.
right. Would you do the counting if we do this?
I'd be glad to do
All right,
anything.
I trust you.
I trust Fred
I
too,
don't
100%.
I trust
I
Fred
have no
when
interest
anybody
in getting
brings
involved
it.
back into borough politics,
Okay.
but I would certainly do anything out of kind of the citizen channel to help resolve this issue.
All right, Fred, that's all I wanted to know before you left. Go ahead.
so, just some reality here. We've done surveys for different topics. The response rate is about 11%. The survey samples we received. And since we are talking about voting and voters, our
Talking
average,
about residents. So.
we're talking about, okay, well,
Go ahead, just let me finish.
let me, I don't have resident numbers, I have numbers of voters. So, when we're talking about voters, our average return, or our average voter turnout is between 25 and 27%. And those are people that have registered and said, I'm interested in who's running the town, I want to be able to vote, I'm gonna come out and vote, and we get 25%. So, it sounds great, looks good on paper.
It's worth a shot.
It's better than nothing.
And in,
Yes.
and in Greece, pure democracy didn't work, but, I don't see it. And,
Why are you such a downer?
Now, please, come on, we don't need the comments.
there is a motion on the floor.
There is a motion. Okay. Is there a second?
At the end of the term, we made a motion to approve at the end of the deal. Yeah,
And then he kept talking.
yes.
I didn't keep talking.
Well, no matter how the vote goes, we could still look at this, sending out,
We have a municipal election next year,
right,
and North County is gonna win it.
right, well, okay. So we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay? Let's do a roll call vote.
What's it for?
Eric,
Yes.
To abolish the wards.
Brian,
Veto.
Joe,
Yeah.
Alicia,
No.
Sara,
No.
Mike.
Yes.
Okay. So it's 4-2. Now, we'll come up with a plan to get something out. And, we just,
What are the next steps?
Doesn't Tayne get a chance to
I
veto
want
it?
to,
No, after we pass the ordinance tonight, with the,
Tayne can veto next month or whatever.
She can veto tonight.
She can veto tonight, but it'll still carry the next month.
I just wanna make sure everyone in the room knows what
Yeah,
happened
so
next, that's why.
she can veto tonight. How long does she have?
Until next meeting. It needs to be added in the minutes by next meeting.
Next
More
meeting?
more than 10 days, but less than, to the next.
Right, so she can veto next month. Right, we know, I figured that. She can veto next month, and then by that time, the nice thing is if you don't veto it tonight, and you hold off till next month, if we get answers going the other way, like that agree with it, then it's passed. Does that sound fair?
Before you send out a survey,
Well, everybody's gonna have a say.
yeah,
It won't go
I
out,
don't want it like a surprise where
no,
it doesn't look like the right kind of survey.
It's
good language.
Yeah.
right, I agree, yeah.
Here we go.
Everybody will see it before it goes out.
That's good.
Then we'll
Yeah.
have it,
Great.
you can send it, but when you get it, try and get your input back so that we can get it,
Absolutely, just let us know when we
Get
get
it
it back and
out
we'll get it back to you.
quick enough and, get some answers, we'll-
If you wanna send that input now.
yeah, you can do that too, but we can formulate
I kinda
out.
wanna see what you guys are
Yeah.
thinking, so I know how to
And then
respond.
we'll formulate,
Um,
well, I think we should go out with, every door direct.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know the logistics, I mean,
Alright, we'll come up with
So in
something,
every door direct, maybe provide a QR code
right,
and a website to make it easy for people
to just
you know, some
say
people
yes
feel
or
comfortable,
no.
some people go, what's a QR code? Like, to give them.
Make it easy for old
You need a
people.
mail-in
Make it
too.
easy for
Well,
old
I did
people,
ask
too.
if you wanted people to go have volunteers
Well-
knock on doors, and people said no to
We'll
that,
do,
so I'm just.
we'll make it so they can mail it back also.
Make it easy so old people understand it.
And you wanna give them a deadline for that, yeah.
Questionnaire as a template.
It's very vague.
Well,
You want this, you want
well, at
it. You
least
want
have
it, you
something-
don't want
You
it.
should have something to,
It
We'll
was
expand
like
on it.
2 sentences.
We're gonna get everybody
I wanna see that.
to agree on what goes out.
And then to Sharon's point, to ensure that, you said,
Fred will count.
Yep.
If you guys are alright with all, everybody's alright with
And how
that?
does Fred get them in a lockbox? In a locked secure box where nobody else can get to them?
What's that? Oh,
Yeah, I think I swear we'll get to them.
I'm gonna ask you a question now, since you asked us, if everybody wants to abolish the wards, will we agree? We said yes, if everybody wants to,
I'll
do
agree.
you guys agree?
I'll agree. If that's what everybody wants, I don't see everybody here. That's my problem. And, but yes, you can ask me that. I can't answer for the other guys, but I'll agree. If everybody wants it, I'll agree. Okay? Or doesn't, you know what I mean? The other way. Okay.
And
Hey,
how
Joe,
Fred,
just- Okay, I'm
so
sorry.
just to
Fred gonna-
clarify, I'm sorry to be
That's
honest about
okay.
this, but I just wanna make, not only are we giving feedback on the way that the questions are being posed, or whatever the language is, the qualifiers, all that, but also the process for,
It will
are you
Finish,
okay?
finish your statement.
finish. Yeah, so,
Question on the process, sorry.
the process, go ahead.
Send it to Fred's house.
And I'll
The
answer you
process
next.
for, like, for receiving those information and counting it, that is all clear for
So-
people, so that people trust it, that's
Yeah,
all.
right, it
Because
has
I
to,
didn't think about that, but that, you brought that
it
up, I
has
wouldn't want
to
people
come
to
back
talk smack about it, you
in
know?
an envelope, it's gonna come back here, and we won't open it, we just deliver them to Fred, or
Right.
Fred can stop by and pick them up. And Fred, the website,
The Survey Monkey delivers it electronically.
right, we can't
Yeah.
mess with that,
Right.
so
That is what it is.
we'll just send it right to Fred. We'll set it up that it sends it right to Fred. We'll get with him, and he can do the count,
Great.
alright? Is everybody,
Hey Joe, will you make it easy that old people understand it?
it has to be easy if I'm figuring it out.
I just want to say, I'm happy to help anyone in Borough,
Go ahead.
under supervision of someone else, at the same time, to help anyone who is, you know, not computer literate. I'm happy to
Well,
set up
don't
a
be on
time,
the
or,
map.
Don't make them go back.
yeah, do something like that, come down with whoever, they can use my computer.
Why they say we'll be Jerry Mangelo or whatever?
We'll explain it. in a minute.
Look that up.
Well, I have no problem with Fred, I think it should be just like elections where they're monitored. Someone monitoring Fred going down.
They should probably count here, probably more than one person.
More than one person.
I have somebody in mind, but, I mean, everybody's probably got somebody in their mind.
I don't, other than Fred, I was looking at Fred the whole time, and I
I'm gonna
thought,
throw a name out there because him and Mike Albert work well together on council, and I trust both of them.
Oh, Mike, yeah, I trust Mike on that, Mike.
alright, well, did you talk to Mike?
I will talk to Mike, and see if he'd be interested in helping.
We'll get with Fred and Fred and Mike and let them two, we'll work out the logistics of the letter and how they get the information, and we'll let them gather it. Okay?
I trust Fred.
Thank you.
Fred's honest.
Fred's honest.
And if we are genuinely concerned about the process, remember that next year's a municipal election, okay? And if we're gonna be making some kind of change, any kind of change, it has to be done pretty much by the end of the year, beginning of January, because primaries start, primary petitions in
So-
February.
Yes, primaries are in February, so
And your
The-
county
the-
time hits around.
the abolishment,
Primaries are in May.
let's go.
The petition
The
circulation.
petitions now are in February. So the abolishment, should that pass, could happen quickly. The reapportionment wouldn't be done by next election, I doubt. But,
Right.
you know, I don't know enough about it.
Reapportionment can happen in a weekend,
In a weekend?
or in a
There
day,
you
in
go.
an hour. It wouldn't take that long, really, truly. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say an hour, but it could happen, it could be done in the
But
evening.
your county would still need time to redraw, reissue voter cards for all the people you wanna move. They have to redraw their information and reissue voter cards in a timely manner to the people. They will not have time.
And we're
Right,
talking less
that's
than
fine.
50 people.
Well, then maybe just
Yeah,
wait
it's not
until
that many
next
people.
election's ended.
Alright, so, we're counting down here, Alicia, so let's see where we fall, alright? Let's get the word out there, see where we fall.
Is
and
there a threshold, like a certain percentage of respondents that can be made in order for this to feel like a ballot?
I don't know.
Okay,
I really don't know. I'm just trying to get out there to the people somehow.
got it.
And I think that gets everybody happy. I mean, asking everybody gets everybody happy. And then they have their opinion. And they don't have to come here and worry about retribution.
Okay,
I got your back. Someone comes after you, you call me. I have a hammer. And I got a bigger one in the truck.
I mean, look at those overalls, he's ready.
Yeah, he's got a good last name too, so.
So,
He's
all
born ready.
right, we're gonna move on here. First of all, let's go, I wanna do additional business here in a couple minutes, I guess. Approval of meeting minutes,
I'll make a motion.
the regular meeting minutes.
Yeah.
Is this for October?
October seventh,
Yeah, second.
okay? All those in favor? Okay, November 4th minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah,
You got any changes?
unfortunately, I got it today. I was at 5:30 trying to and I need time, so
You
I
need
didn't
time.
have enough time.
Well,
Can I make a suggestion?
you can make a suggestion that the ones are falling though.
Shocker. I would be amazed if you did,
All right, go ahead.
but maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised.
It's gonna be,
Something that is a little tricky is when the minutes come so far past the prior meeting.